Alright, good day class. Welcome to the tutorial on waist snatching to the second method. Alright, so like I said, we are going to be using, these are basically the things we are going to be using for this class. You need a brow hook extender. This is what it looks like. I finally able to get it. So then you need 1-inch elastic. You need the 1-inch elastic stick rather. Then you get the 3 inches elastic. You can get 4, but please make sure what you're getting is very thick. It has to be very thick, because this is what is going to like help with the waist snatching, the packing of the stomach. All right, so basically when we are talking about waist snatching, because this is a kind of, we are going to be making a kind of girdle. So but this will be a custom made, you know, the one that you made yourself. So for this class I'm going to be working with my measurements. All right, so my waist measurement, my half length measurement is that is 40. So my waist measurement is 40. So this I have to determine, this is like my regular, my normal waist measurement. So I'm going to be determining how snatch I want, how much reduction I want my waist to have when after making this. So I want to go in by, let's say, 3 inches. So 40 minus 3 will give us 37. That means I'm going to be working with waist 37 now. All right, so another thing you should know is this 3 inches band, like I said, is what is going to be packing the stomach, and this is what is going to be giving the waist snatching effect. This is actually what we are going to be using to snatch the waist. And if you look at this very well, you see that it's expanding a lot. If you want to get yours, please make sure you get the one that is thick, not as light as this one is expanding a lot. All right, so get a thick one. See this now, you see how thick this is. So get a thick one. If you can get something thicker than this, you can get it as well. All right, so what we are going to be doing now, we're going to get into the waist snatching proper. So whenever you want to make this, you can ask your clients how much they want their waist to be snatched, so that they can be comfortable after you are done with this. All right, so the difference between what we are going to make now and the regular girdle we get at our market is that this is this one packs the tummy, unlike the one that we buy that is just for the waist snatching effect. This will actually pack your tummy while it's giving you the waist snatching effect as well. All right, so what we are going to be doing basically is this. There's no standard measurement to this. You have to determine, I'm going to be giving us methods how you are going to be determining what you are supposed to use. All right, so now my waist is 34. For somebody that uses waist, let's say 23, 24 to, let's say, 30, you can use about 3 inches. You can use 3 steps of this, like this. You can use 3 steps for this. For somebody that has a very big tummy, you can use 4. But if the person is like, the tummy is extra big, then you can use 5 or 6. So for a medium size or a small size, you can use 3. Yes, so for somebody that is a bit bigger, that has a very big bulgy tummy, you can use 4 layers. And if the person has like extra, you can use like 5 or 6. All right, so for this class, because I'm going to be working with my own measurements and I have a bit of bulgy tummy, so I'm going to be using 4 or 5, depends. So for this particular class, I'm going to be using 4. All right, so this is 3 inches. Sorry, I want to be, okay, this is 2.5, rather. This is 2.5. So I'm going to be making use of 5 instead. This is 2.5 because it might look a bit smaller after I'm done joining it if I use 4 layers. So I'm going to be making use of 5 layers. All right, so now to determine how wide the elastic you're going to be getting is, to determine how wide it is, there's no standard rule to it. What you're going to be doing is, I'm using waist 37 now, so I'm just going to say, let's say this is 18 without stretching it. So now I'm going to, from this 18 now, I'm just going to determine how stretchy this can be. This is 18. Let me just chalk it so that we understand what I'm trying to do. This is 18. So my waist measurement that we're going to be using is 37. I'm going to be placing 37 here. Then I'm going to stretch it to see if it can cover for the 37. I don't know if we're getting what I want to do. So I'm going to stretch it. See, can you see, like, it's covered for the 37? So that means if I use 18, I'll still get my results, the desired result. So this is it. So you can decide to make use of, you can just the method I did now, you can do the same for yourself. So if, let's say I use 19 and a half, it will still reach, but then, you know, it will not be, it has to, like, to get the effect of waist snatching, it has to be smaller. So after it has expanded, then you can get your desired shape or results. So now this is 37, and then I'll stretch it again. You see, like, I'm not even really stretching it, you see. So I'm going to be using this 19 and a half, because I'm still going to be sewing a little bit of it inside. So I'm still going to be using that 19 and a half. So I'll just cut this. You know, I said I'm going to be making use of 5 layers. So I'm just going to cut this in. This is 2. And this is 3. This is 4. So remain 1 layer to cut like that. But then before I cut that, I want to explain something. So this is it. This is the 4 layer. So what we are going to be doing now, first thing we are going to be doing is we are going to have to pin this down. We're going to be not pinning, I'm going to be pinning it down to explain, but then you are supposed to sew it. So I'm going to be pinning this down by 1/2 inch on the middle. So the first thing I'm going to do is to determine the middle of this rubber. So this is 19 1/4. So 19 1/4 divided by 2 will give me 9, will give me 9 1/2, thereabouts. So I'm just going to mark the center of every of this this one is 9 1/2. Sorry, it's 19 1/2. So 19 1/2 will give me 9 1/4. I'll do the same for this. This is also 9 1/2. 19 1/4 is 9 1/4, sorry. Then I'm going to do the same for this as well, 9 1/4. So now that I've determined the center of it all, I'm going to hold them in by 1/2 inch this way. So I'm just going to pin it down at the center like that, this way, and then this also at the center. This way. So please pay attention, because this is how we're going to join it. So then here as well by 3 inches. So sorry, by 1/2 inch, not 3 inches. That's a mistake. All right, so now that we've pinned down the center, don't forget, like I said, we are going to be making use of so like I said, I'm going to be making use of 5 layers rather. So for the last layer, this is how it's going to be. I made use of, don't forget, we made use of 19 1/2. So I'm going to be adding 2 inches to this, the last layer. So 19 1/2 plus 2 inches is going to give us 21 1/2. So I'm going to cut this at 21 1/2. Alright. So the reason why this is so is because, you know, the largest part of the tummy will be under. So this is for it to pack the tummy very well at the, for somebody that has a budget tummy. So even for anybody, because tummy is actually bigger at the lower part, so this is because of the lower part of your tummy, so that's why this place is a bit bigger and longer. All right, so what we are going to be doing now is also to determine the center of this. I can't notch this because it's an elastic, it's not a cloth, so I can't notch it. So I'm just going to determine the center and also determine the center of this again. So to determine the center of this again, and then I'm going to place them on one another like we did for the others, and also I'm going to pin it down. Okay, so we are done pinning the 5 of it down. So the next thing we are going to be doing, we joined this. Let's assume we have joined this now. We joined this with half an inch, but for the sides we're not going to be joining them by half an inch. For the sides, the back is normally, because this is like the center, this is going to, don't forget, this is your round waist, it's going to be like your round waist, so it's going to go to the back. So because we know the front is actually very longer than the back, it's normally longer than the back, so we have to reduce this at the back. So these are going to be the back place. So we're just going to, instead of half an inch, we're going to reduce this. We're going to join this by 1 inch on the sides, like this. It's going to be 1 inch. So then this place as well is going to be 1 inch, like this. It's going to be 1 inch. All right, so then you mark 1 inch here as well. Sorry, mark 1 inch here as well. Don't forget we are going to be joining everything together. I'm sorry, this is where I pin it at the center. I'm going to repin it there. All right, so then here 1 inch as well. Okay, then pin it down as well. All right, so we do the same for this side. I'm going to measure 1 inch on all the side. So this one will be on this. So this also will be on this by 1 inch. Okay, then this one to 1 inch. Just follow the same process, like 1 inch, like that. All right guys, so this is the result after we've done pinning down all the sides. So the next thing we're going to be doing, if you notice this space is longer and it's not supposed to be longer, so what we're going to be doing now is we're just going to be coming this way, just shaping it this way, so that this side and this side will rhyme. So just shape it this way, then also you do the same for this side. So just going to shape it. This way, then I'll pin it down back. That's it. Then I'll do the same for this side. Okay, all right, so this is it. So after we are done with these, we're almost done. Actually, we're almost done. So the next thing we're going to be doing now is to determine where we are going to be placing the 1 inch rubber. Like I said, this is what is going to be doing the waist snatching. This is going to be packing the stomach, but this is what is going to be doing the waist snatching. This is what we're going to be. That's why I said you have to get a very thick one, a thicker one. This one is not thick. So what we're going to be doing now is to determine this, where this is going to be. So this is supposed to be at the smallest part of your waist, and the smallest part of your waist is your half length. So the smallest part of your waist is half length. So to determine where it's going to be on this, don't forget this is going to be starting from your under bust. This is going to be starting from your under bust. So to determine where the 1-inch rubber is going to be, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to measure my half length minus my under bust. Don't forget this is starting from my under bust, so it's going to be half length minus under bust. Do you understand? So my half length is 21, my under bust is 18. So if I minus this, I'm going to get 3. So that means I'm going to be measuring from this point to where 3 is, and I'm going to chalk it. So this is where the waist snatching is going to be taking effect. This is where it's going to be taking effect. So to get this, you're not going to be using the exact of this size. For example, now this one, like I said, is really stretchy, so I'm just going to be using probably very small of it. See, it's very stretchy. Now let me let's say this is 14, so I want to stretch it to 37, you see, and I'm using 14 to stretch to 37, and I still can reduce it to, let's say, 12. Let's use 12 and see if it's still going to go. All right, this is okay. 12 is small. Can you see 12 is small? So now see the one I just did, I don't know what I used, but I'll measure it and see. So now this is 17. So but we can't use 17. I have to use something that is really extremely small, like the 12 that I just did, but 12 is too small. So I'm going to be using something around 15, because don't forget we are trying to clinch the waist. So we have to use something that is way smaller than it. So this is 15. I want to mark it. This is 15. All right, so this is 37. So we are just going to stretch it and see if it's going to work. You see, it worked well. So that means we can still reduce it a bit. Even this, it still works. So you see, it still works. That's because I told you that this elastic is really expanding. So this, so I think I'm going to be using this. All right, so I'm just going to cut it, and that's what I'm going to be using. I'm going to not mark the center. This is very important, so everything has to align. So this is the center, and I'm placing it at where I chopped as my half length. So I'm just going to go ahead and pin it. All right, so after I've pinned this, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag this to the side and also pin it down. Then I'm going to do the same here and pin it down. All right, so this is it. So the next thing I'm going to do now is just to go and sew it. All right, so before we sew it, let me explain how we are going to be fixing our brow hook extender. I bought 2 because I know this size I saw was small, so I bought 2. I'm going to be joining them together to get the longer to make it longer. So what you're just going to do after you are done sewing, to attach this one already has a space, so you're just going to key this into it this way. You're just going to key it into it this way and sew on it this way. Do you understand? Then but this one does not have it, so you're just going to sew directly on this. Just going to place this on it this way and sew. That's how you're going to be doing this. But this one already has a place you can key it in and sew. So that's what we're just going to be doing. So I'm just going to go ahead and sew everything, fix this, and I'm going to try it so we can see. All right, so this is it after we're done joining. This is it. So what we're going to be doing next now is to fix this. Just like I said, I already joined the 2 pieces together. to form one like this. So I'm just going to go ahead and sew this way. It's just as simple as that. I'm just going to run a stitch just that way. All right, so this is it after I'm done sewing. This is the wrong side and this is the right side. So then I'm going to fix this. This, like I said, does not have a space like this one, so you have to fix this right so you don't keep losing it. All right, so you have to, this is it, this is how it's going to be. Have to hook it up first so you know how it's going to sit. So this is how it's going to be, you understand? So this is where you're going to be sewing like this, sewing it this way. The way you get, so you're going to be sewing not this way, you're going to be sewing it this way. All right, guys, so after we are done joining it, this is it, this is the end result. So this is it. So I'm just going to try it on. So this, you can actually attach it directly on the lining of the dress or the top, whatever you're making, before you turn it with the main fabric. So your client, you have to tell your client that somebody will help your client to hook it at the back first before they can zip up. So this is just it. It's as simple as this. So I'm just going to try it on so that you can see the effect of the waist snatching. So that's just, I'm going to try it on and show us how it looks.